boys, let us go ahead here in week number 10. Kick things off with the Seattle Seahawks. I would say on the road, but everybody is on the road in this one. Over in Germany, Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as we sit right now, there are expensive 2.5s on the Bucs. There are expensive 3s on the Seahawks. 44.5 is your total in this game. I will admit when I am wrong. And here's the deal, though, guys. When I'm wrong, I'm the best at being wrong. And I was the wrongest about this Seattle Seahawks team. I've already lost a futures bet in week 10 for a team that I had a futures bet on, if that tells you anything. I had the alt under 5 wins for the Seattle Seahawks. As we know, they have already exceeded that number. So take my money, circa. I hope you enjoy it. And, listen, I've come around for a couple different reasons. One, I didn't think that there was a 0 chance that they could have some offensive success because you do still have DK Metcalf, you do still have Tyler Lockett. I thought that wasn't the craziest thing in the world. I did not think this defense was going to be able to do anything all season long. It was a bunch of young players, a bunch of guys that were kind of like second-tier guys, and I didn't think that this was going to be anything that was ever going to gel. And certainly for the first month of the season, boys, we saw that play out. But again, we can shorten this sample size and we can come in. And if you start in week 10, which by the way, at this point now is start in week 5, which by the way is over half of the season, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got a big sample size there whenever we consider we've only played 9 weeks. This Seattle defense is 6th overall in EPA per play. It is the number 1 defense in success rate allowed against. If we go a little bit further, and we say, hey, well, how are they against the pass? They're the 6th overall team in dropback EPA allowed. I mean, this defense has come together over the last 5 weeks. And Adam, I am not only on the +3 that I got on the Seattle Seahawks, I took some money line as well. I started to look around and dig a little bit deeper into this, and I'm not going to hold on to the either prior that I had. And that is that the Seahawks, this glass slipper is going to eventually go away. And I'm not going to hold on to this prior that Tom Brady's going to magically figure out how to turn this team around. This offense has been bad all season long. It's not like a small sample size with us for that. It's been bad all year long. And this defense that we thought we would at least be able to hang our hat on with this Bucs team has allowed people to move up and down the field on them. So, prove me wrong, I guess, Seahawks, and prove me that this spot over in Germany maybe is too big for you or something like that. But I'm going to ride this team. I think it might be a wrong team favorite type situation.
Oh, good morning. How are you? You nailed the analysis on that one. I think you left me a breadcrumb or two, so I'll try to take what I can out of that one. The Seattle Seahawks are the better team right now, and I understand why the market bakes in these priors to some degree because you don't want to be wildly swinging week to week. But as you mentioned, we're not at this point. And I think what we can look at with the Seattle defense is something that we're seeing with the Jets, is something that we saw a bit last year with the Broncos, and to a lesser degree, we even saw last night with the Carolina Panthers. When you hit on one corner, you can change the entire fortune of a defense. So Tariq Woolen has turned out to be that guy for the Seattle defense, much the way Sauce Gardner has turned out to be that guy for the New York Jets, and he's a rookie, of course. And so rookies in general are going to need a little time. There we go. The Seattle defense needed a little time. I'm not saying it's all Tariq Woolen, but he's been a major impact when it comes to that defense. Now, on the other side of this thing, when we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have to listen to what they're telling you when you see a team struggling, right? Like, do you see a team like Chicago where they went into the bye week, realized the offense was nothing, and decided to make a change? Yes, they did. You had to watch, you had to say, we need to activate Justin Fields. And, I lost a good amount of money because of it in that game against New England. But when you talk about what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles saying, we're not running enough to establish the run, to establish play action. And there are many analytics to prove that that's not an effective means of doing things. So I'm with you. I like Seattle as a teaser leg. I think if you want to be safe, frankly, if you want to play Seattle out to -3.5 and you want to make this, an alt line and get a little bit of value out of that, I don't think that's wrong either, because Tampa Bay won last week because the Rams fell apart on the last drive. It's the only reason they are a 4-win team.
Steven, we take a look here. We've talked about Geno Smith and the success, and he just kind of keeps on rocking and rolling. Like last week, he throws that pick six, and I think this is where everybody started going, oh, here's where the real Geno comes out. And instead, he just got his stuff together and went on about the rest of the game and had a good rest of the game yet again. And so I think we just have to realize right now that we're in the midst of a team that is going to be pretty good on offense and is getting better on defense. And we're probably looking at a playoff squad. We're probably looking at a team that might even contend to win a game in the playoffs with the way that they've got things going right now. I think Ken Walker is the guy that's going to take home the Rookie of the Year. I think if you're betting, if you're still getting plus money on him in any market out there, you only have to lock up the money for half the season now. I think that's a good bet on Ken Walker as well. I think you and I are simpatico here a little bit. I think you are also on Seattle.
I am. It just depends on what price I can get. If I can get a +3 -120, I'd just take that straight up. If it's 2.5 everywhere at where you shop, then I think a teaser leg here is great too. I think there's at least one or two other good teaser options here this week. Totally unrelated betting fact, guys. Did you know that the flight from Seattle to Munich, Germany is only an hour longer than the flight from Tampa Bay to Munich, Germany, because Seattle's flight basically goes over the North Pole? Like, geography is fun. I had no idea.
At that. Look
How about that?
I
No real
look into
travel disadvantage here for the Seahawks this week. But to your point with the offense and Geno Smith, the Seahawks are number 8 in offensive EPA. The Bucs with Tom Brady are number 21. And there have been some doubters that have said, well, Seattle's played a pretty easy schedule. Well, they've also won all of those games in their winning streak by double digits. They're dominating people. And the difference in these offenses in terms of yards per play are even more stark than the EPA metrics. So you take that into account. You also note that Tampa's lost its best defensive player in Shaq Barrett. Antoine Winfield's banged up in this game. Yeah, I think that the market, again, has been too slow to adjust to Seattle, but also on the flip side, I think still too slow to adjust Tampa Bay down in this situation.
Yep. I think this is a double. I think it's a double whammy. I really do. Like, I think this is a, hey, we don't believe in Seattle and we still believe in Tampa. And I think actually both of those things are wrong. I think it is, no, you should believe in Seattle and you should start downgrading Tampa even worse than you already have. So I agree with you 100% on that. I think the only other thing that I would take from this game, if you're a prop player, it kind of feels like it's Rachaad White time for this Tampa team. Leonard Fournette averaging 3.3 yards per carry on the season. He has a long of 17 yards, and that's out of 121 carries on the year. So this could be the game where they make a concerted switch over to Rachaad White. And so any Rachaad White props, if you want to speculate there, I think that could be something that could be profitable this week. Because again, as we know, you want to be ahead of these kind of shifts in philosophy from a prop standpoint, as opposed to playing catch up. And I think this is the Rachaad White week, Stephen.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd be more comfortable with kind of touches on those props as opposed to yardage, considering that, I mean, Leonard Fournette's a very large man, and even he can't get any yards with this offensive line that he's running behind. So I think rushing attempts or touches would be the prop I'd go with Rachaad White, because the beat reporters in Tampa have indicated that Rachaad White should probably get some more touches here.